Add the list of 7 chapters for JEE Main 2024 that you can skip and your result will not affect. But before that, I will tell you why you should skip these chapters. So we will divide all the students in 3 groups on the basis of number of registrations in JEE Mains, which is about 1 million. So the first group will consist of those top 20,000 students who are going to get a percentile of 98, and reality is that they are done with these chapters already. Our second group will consist of those students who are going to get a percentile of 90 and they have not cleared their syllabus yet. And the reality is that the rest are just to fill out the forms. And this is our third group. So the main focus of the video is second group student, and I will give you the clear picture to focus on. So the chapter that I have selected in this video are based on my analysis. The first is the time taken by chapter to complete it. The second is the difficulty level of the chapter. And the third one is number of questions asked in the exam from that chapter. So the first chapter of our list is none other than legendary rotational motion. This is one of the most hated / ignored chapter in the entire JEE syllabus because of its toughness and vastness. One should have great visualization power to understand it. And on top of that, remembering all of its cases and formulas is a very difficult task. There are 27 shifts in JEE Main 2023 and number of questions asked from this chapter are only 22. So the ratio is even less than 1. So you can easily skip this chapter. Bye bye rotational motion. The second chapter will be properties of fluids, especially the major part of it. So these are the list of the topics that you can skip because the number of questions asked from these topics are very less in the past, as there are only 8 to 9 questions last year in 27 shifts, and even this chapter has no link with other chapters, so you can seriously ignore this. So our third chapter is from chemistry, none other than equilibrium. This is also one of the hardest chapters from chemistry. Also the question asked from this chapter are on the difficult sides. So I'm not saying you to completely skip this chapter because questions from the chemical equilibrium part are on easy side. So you can completely skip the ionic equilibrium part. And also I will define this chapter in 4 words, like high input and low output. So instead of putting in this much effort, you can complete the biomolecule chapter because the number of questions asked from this chapter and biomolecules are similar. Now we will move to 4th chapter. Now it's time to fire the entire unit. Not a single chapter, but an entire unit, that is purification and characteristic of organic compound. So breaking it down, this unit consists of 3 major chapters, that is purification, quantitative analysis and qualitative analysis. And these are the best boring chapters of JEE syllabus. And the output of these chapters are very low and you can drop these chapters as I drop this time. So chapter 5 deserves a sitting ovation from me. So I will tell you about that in sitting position. So the name of this chapter gives nightmare to most of the students. This chapter name defines the most prestigious exams of India, that is IIT JEE, none other than indefinite integration. But you don't have to worry about this because the number of questions that were asked from this chapter are very few. That is only 3 questions asked in 2023 mains. So you can definitely skip indefinite integration. And here comes our second last chapter, that is permutation and combination. This seems to be a little bit tricky because concepts of permutation and combination are directly applied in probability. So I'm not saying to completely skip this chapter. You should know the basic concepts of permutation and combination, like its formulas and linearity. You can skip the subtopics like circular permutation, formation of groups, total number of selection and distribution of alike object. Now you can play and continue. So the final one is a complete unit, not a single chapter, named coordinate geometry. It consists of straight line, ellipse, hyperbola, parabola and circle. So you can skip everything in this unit except straight line because concepts of straight line are very basic and can be easily asked in link with other chapters. And this point of time, it is not recommended to give hand on this chapter because this unit is completely linked. If you don't complete a single chapter, then it will not ensure you to have a question correct. So either complete it fully or don't touch it. So that's for day and night. And also give me suggestions on what topic you want video on. Till then, goodbye.